Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Ashanti. I do vlog, lifestyle, and self-improvement content. And if you're returning, welcome back, loves. As y'all can see from the title of this video, we are prepping for 2025. We're officially in December. 2025 is about 30 days away. I don't know about y'all, but this year kind of flew by, but there was a lot accomplished in this year. So for that, I'm very grateful, but I haven't really sat down and planned my goals for 2025, and I want to get a good head start on it before the end of the month comes around. So we have a full 30 days to start prepping, getting ready. That way we'll already have the ball moving by January 1st. If you want any tips and ideas on how you can start prepping for 2025, then please keep watching. The following ideas that I have, they're things that I'm personally gonna be going into with my prepping. So do with this information what you will. Hopefully some of these things will help y'all as well if you decide to incorporate any of this in your 2025 prepping. So one of the things that I want to do to prep for 2025 is conducting what I'm calling a life audit. If you see me looking down, I have my notes here, that's all. And kind of what that means to me is just thinking back on the year as a whole, 2024, and just looking through just the different seasons and the different months that have already passed, and just kind of acknowledging what's worked in my life so far this year, what hasn't worked. Are there any things or lessons that I can learn from any areas of my life that can use some improvement, or that be emotional, mental, physical, things like that. Also just really sitting down and digging deep and thinking of things that make me happy and things that take away from my happiness in my everyday life. Now, because this year has gone by so fast, I'm sure it can be a little bit intimidating to just look at the year as a whole. I know for me it is. So one thing that I'm gonna be doing is just going month by month and seeing what things I've accomplished, what areas of my life I can do a little bit more work on. That could be from my personal life, like from a financial standpoint, from a work standpoint. It's a life audit in general seems like a really broad topic because it is. So I think for me, I'm gonna break it down to physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And then to break it down even further, I'll do those in my personal life and my work life and in my social life as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Just really looking at your life throughout the entirety of this year and just seeing what things have worked for you so far, what things haven't worked. Are there any areas of your life where there's negativity brewing or has been looming over your head in a way, and just how we can get that changed for this upcoming new year so that we're not bringing in any type of baggage or old mindsets or negativity when planning for this next year. And bouncing off of this, what makes you happy and what hasn't made you happy this year. Going into that a little bit more, one thing I'm keeping in mind for my 2025 goals is hobbies. Now, if y'all could see for my hobby collecting series, if you haven't checked that out just yet, I'm gonna link it in the cards and in the description box below, a couple of videos. Really consider getting into a hobby. Now, I don't know about y'all, but for me in the past, before this year, I would literally be kind of like a repetitive cycle in my day-to-day life. I would work, come home, eat, sleep, repeat. Literally Monday through Friday. Of course the weekend you have more time to yourself and to kind of just pour back into yourself. But for my people who are working a full-time job and a 9-to-5, trust me, I get it. It can be very, very hard in the span of a week to fit in time for yourself, especially if you have a family or if you live with other people. It can be really hard to just find time for yourself and exploring what you like outside of the world in front of you. So outside of your job, because for my people who are working, you're in an environment between 8 to 12 hours a day where it's work focused, and then once you get out of that environment, you have to kind of recoup from the day once you get home. And like I said, if you live with other people or if you have a family, sometimes that time can get poured into others. So it can be really difficult to find time for yourself. But one thing that I've incorporated this year in 2024 that's helped me tremendously is finding hobbies and trying new things. So in my hobby collecting series, I picked up playing the guitar as a hobby, and I'll admit I have fallen off of it these past couple of months from the end of the year, but that's something I find I really enjoy doing. It's something that makes me happy, and it's also just playing a musical instrument in general. It's, in a way, it's a skill, reading music and learning something new. That's one thing to keep in mind, hobbies from like a musical instruments type of standpoint. Another type of hobby, starting a YouTube channel, creating content for TikTok and Instagram. I've said this before in a past video, but I've always recorded videos and long forms of content in the past before I started my YouTube channel. I would always do it with the intent of putting a video together and never doing it. So for me personally, starting this YouTube channel, it's really helped me look inward into myself and figuring out things that I like, that I don't like. It's been fun documenting my journey for sure. In a way, it's like a visual diary, and I can look back on my videos and see how I've grown as a person, how I'm growing in my life. In a way, it's a good form to visually see the changes going on in your life as well. And then short forms of content, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Pinterest. Yes, it's all social media based, but you don't necessarily have to call yourself an influencer or a content creator to just put things out that you like to do, you know? And as far as hobbies go as well, there's so much more to life than just working a full-time job or scrolling on social media, doom scrolling for hours and hours. There's so much more to life than what we see in our day-to-day. So I think gaining a hobby, or even not even gaining a hobby, but just trying new things and dedicating time to try new things, it can help bring you joy and make new memories too, so you can have things to look forward to, you know? Speaking of things to look forward to, this brings me to my next point. Consider planning a trip. Now, it doesn't have to be for 2025. Like I said, I work a full-time job, 9 to 5, and I do content creation on the side just in my free time. But we all know how it goes with accumulating PTO and financial difficulties and things like that. So trust me when I get it. Going on the trip might not be in the cards for you financially for 2025. And depending on your age, you know, we all have different financial goals and realities. But I feel like for me, planning a trip just gives me something to look forward to for the year. I've taken a couple of trips this year, and while a couple of them were last minute trips, it's definitely one of the highlights of my year for sure. And again, working a full-time job, you can take 2 PTO days, so 16 hours, and you can do Friday, and then if you don't work weekends, Saturday and Sunday you already have off, and then take off Monday. That's 4 days right there. You can do a quick weekend trip, whether that be locally. You can do a staycation in your local area, go a bit out from your town or where you stay, and depending on your city, go in the city and do a local staycation, book a hotel for a couple of days and just explore, you know? It doesn't have to be you getting on a flight and going overseas or going to another country. It can literally be just experiencing a new environment that you haven't been in before, even if it's in your home state. And it's just so refreshing to see the world and to see new things outside of your local area and outside of the things that you see on a daily basis, especially if you're working full-time, like I mentioned. And again, it doesn't have to be you planning a trip for 2025. You can start planning this upcoming year, but you don't even have to take the trip until the following year, 2026 or 2027, or a few years from then. It's just something that I find a positive thing to help me look forward to the future. Tip number 4 that I'm doing that I have fallen off on, but I really plan to get back on in 2025. Prioritizing your physical health. Now, can be so hard starting to get into the gym. Trust me, I know I've fallen off time and time again. And depending on where you stay in your area, sometimes you don't want to commute to the gym every day, either before work or after work. Trust me, I get it. But prioritizing your physical health, it'll not only help you physically, like to see results in the long run, but it also helps you emotionally and mentally as well. If you're in a stressful environment or a stressful state of mind, try moving your body, try doing some stretches, going for a walk outside, even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe not right now outside because we're literally in the dead heart of winter, depending on where you stay. Just try to find some form of moving your body every single day. It can be as simple as stretching, finding a quick yoga video on YouTube. They have like 5 to 10 minute yoga routines first thing in the morning. Doing some jumping jacks when you first roll out of bed. If you do have a bit more time and are a bit more disciplined to go to the gym multiple days out of the week, go to the gym multiple days a week, even if it's getting on a treadmill for 15 minutes. Moving your body will really help you expel pent up energy, especially throughout the week. And now with daylight savings, it gets dark right now at like 4 and 5 o'clock in the evening. Seasonal depression really hits during this time. So being able to move your body and getting those good just endorphins in and that dopamine when it's dark outside, that can really help with your emotional and your mental state. So keep that in mind. And there's also people on YouTube who do home workout videos. You can be in your room and do a quick 15-minute video every day, or I don't know about every day, I can't do every day, but a few days out of the week, just moving your body literally in your room for 10-15 minutes, and boom, you got your physical movement in. So prioritizing your physical health and just getting active, you'll notice a difference with how it affects you physically, mentally, and emotionally for sure. I did not mean for this video to be this long, but this is my last and 5th point with prepping for 2025. Maximizing your time. Working a full-time job, it may not seem like you have that much time in the day, especially if you're in a state where you're literally working, going home, eating, sleeping, and repeating. Rinse and repeat. I've been there, and for me, that wasn't a good cycle to be in, because not only did I not experience more of life than I wanted to, it really took a toll on my mental health, especially in the long run, doing that for such a long time. One way that you can maximize your time on a daily basis is waking up earlier. I'm not a morning person. I will tell you that now, I am not a morning person. But on the days that I do kind of force myself to wake up earlier, towards the end of the day, I feel not only tired to go to sleep earlier, but I feel really good in that I have so much more time to do more things. So, for example, say you have a 9 to 5, because I work full time, and you want to prioritize waking up at 5 in the morning. That's pretty early. So let's say between 5 and 6 o'clock. You potentially have 3 to 4 hours before the start of your shift to start your day off without feeling time crunched to just go straight to work right when you wake up. So that can be your time to go to the gym, do some journaling, reflecting on the day before and setting your goals for the day ahead. And then not only that, with waking up those few hours early, knocking things off of your to-do list, by the time you get off or by the time you have free time at the end of the day, the time you took in the morning to wake up a little earlier, now your evenings are free to do things that you might enjoy. For example, doing your newfound hobby that you decided to take on, That's one thing to keep in mind. Also, maximizing your time can look like planning out your week, and as the days go by as well, having a daily list of goals of things you want to accomplish, whether that be in your work life or in your personal life, let's say that there's a podcast that you want to listen to, or at the start of the week you want to meal prep so that you have less time cooking throughout the week. And it doesn't have to be as meticulous as doing time blocks every day. Sometimes that can feel a little bit restricting depending on if that works for you. But I find it's really helpful to go into the week having a good focus and something to look forward to for the week ahead. That way, day by day, you're not just going through life like, oh, whatever happens, happens. You know, you'll feel more accomplished if you plan out your weeks and go day by day and have a set of goals and celebrate the small wins for yourself too. You know, if you wake up like an hour earlier than you usually do, celebrate that. You know, give yourself grace and celebrate the small wins. It doesn't have to be drastic changes or anything like that, especially if you're just getting started with a routine. But gradually, as time goes, you'll notice a difference. And starting now, December 1st, come January 1st, 2025, I promise you'll feel a difference because you've gotten a head start with planning your goals and getting the ball rolling, and you're just 30 days ahead of the game. All right, y'all, I did not mean for this video to be that long, but that was the end of today's video on tips and ideas to prep for 2025. If y'all have any questions or if there's anything that you're doing to prep for 2025, leave them down in the comment section below. Let me know if y'all like videos like this. This is kind of the first video that I've done on prepping for a new year, but I know one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look back at this video and kind of refresh those ideas constantly before 2025 comes, so I have something to look back on with prepping and ideas for me to reach my goals. If y'all like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel to see more self-improvement videos like this. And Vlogmas is coming, y'all. This video is dropping on December 1st, so if you'd like to see the first episode of my Vlogmas series, I'll link that in the cards as well and in the description box so y'all can see it. But again, thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.